Hi, everyone. This is Michael Connon representing the TooMedToo's Star Wars Network. We've got your fix. And this is episode 26 of the Bacta tank. And there's a lot going on, but I'm just going to let you know that this is brought to you by the patrons of my Patreon. We have Heidi Fetter, Rural Farm Boy, Mr. Rez, Kylo Customs, Chris from Kentucky, and I'm not forgetting anybody. I'm doing a dramatic pause. Not that I can't remember. Kylo Ren Flores. So I just want to thank all of them for, all the help that they give and the donations that they contribute to the channel and the network and the shows and the toys. And I don't buy toys with their money. I buy computer equipment with their money, but sometimes they send me toys. So that's what I meant by that. But anyways, we'll talk about me later. I talk about myself a lot. But we have someone joining us today. Big shocker. And there's a little mix-up. I thought he was a famous baseball player, but he just has the same name as the famous baseball player. But I guess they're no relation. And we have Alberto from Radio Rebellion. If it switches over. Still going slow. It's coming. Maybe. Sometime. Is it coming? There we go.
Yay. Dramatic
Alberto,
entrance.
how are you doing?
I'm doing fine. Thanks, Michael. Thanks for having me. It's a dramatic entrance. You made your dramatic pause while reading your Patreon, so I had to do a dramatic entrance and take my time. I had to put my bats and my glove back outside. I was taking too much space inside the house since I retired from baseball, but I'm here. Thanks for having me. Can't wait. I'm gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
And Alberto, I guess I don't have our names on here. I thought I put our names on, just so everybody knows who you are. I mean, I think everybody probably knows who you are, but
yeah, hopefully.
Just
you can find me. There we go. That's me.
Just to make sure.
That's
okay.
my name. That's, I guess here. There we go. That's me.
All right, there we are. So yeah, he's got the show Radio Rebellion. I was actually he usually does his live show similar to this on Saturdays at 5:00. And yep. Funny thing, so I was. We'll get to Alberto in a minute, but we're going to talk about me again because it's always about me.
That's fine.
That's why that's why I always say I can't interview anybody because I talk too fucking much, especially about myself sometimes. But anyway, so I'm listening to Alberto's show and I got it on my phone and I'm listening with my earbuds and I walk into the room and it just stops working. I'm like, oh, what's wrong? Well, I was listening to Alberto's show and my phone died. And I went to go try and have him fix it. Well, I mean, I was listening to your show when it happened, so I don't know whose fault it is. And then my computer died. So Sunday was just kind of a bad day, and then yesterday was just all day working on that stuff. But I got a brand new S20, so thank you, Alberto, for that, for ruining my phone. And now my keyboard doesn't work on the, so everybody knows that my computer's in the shop. I'm still waiting on that. I've been using a notebook, and now my keyboard doesn't work on my notebook. And it's going to be $200 just to have them take a look at it before they even fix it. And things are only worth $400 or $500. So it's time, it's they say if you got to spend more than 25% to fix a computer, it's time to get a new one. Unless you're upgrading it or whatever. So yeah, an iPad is next on the list. But anyways, okay. So that's pretty much everything about me. Alberto. So
yes.
I've talked to you a few times. We kind of know each other, but it's usually either you commenting on the chat or me commenting on your chat. So how did you first get into Star Wars? Oh, hang on. Before that, I'm gonna interrupt you again. Sorry. Happy birthday.
Oh, thank you.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right.
Yes, just turned 40, so gray hairs are starting to come out. Getting tired, my bones are cracking up a little bit more than usual, but it's all been good. Thanks. Shout out here and on Twitter and on the show on Saturday. So thank you. How I got into Star Wars, I've said it before, and I just finished reading Shadows Fall from Alexander Freed. Alphabet Squadron 01. There's a quote that says from the ITO, the droid, saying that memory is a construct. We just build it through all the stories we've heard. So I've always used this story that, I remember when I was 3 years old, sitting in my mom's lap watching Return of the Jedi, since I was born in 1980, best year, of course. So at 3 years old, went to see Return of the Jedi, crying when Jabba the Hutt came out. So that's my first memory of Star Wars, supposedly. But I think it's just been built up in my mind from what my mom and my dad used to tell me. So yeah, I got into Star Wars pretty early, but then of course it stopped in '83. But we had the VHS for those old people like me and some others. And we used to watch them at home, but I wasn't the biggest fan. I did follow it, but wasn't the fan I am today. And then late '90s, when the special editions were brought back into theaters, went straight to the movies to watch it, because I was a huge Star Wars fan, but didn't have anything new to kind of fall back on. But when I went into the theaters back, I was probably about 16, 17 years old at the time. It hooked me and it never let go. Empire Strikes Back and everything Star Wars from that point on overtook my life. And that's how I started building up on it again. And it just kept going. And I'm a fan of all of it right now. There's good, there's bad, but I'll focus on the good part on all of it. And it led me to here today.
That's actually a very similar story to me. I grew up, I always knew Star Wars because I was born in '78. And there was always Star Wars, and always loved it. Even as a teenager, I would get presents for Star Wars, even though I didn't keep up with Legends or anything like that.
Yeah.
Went to go see. I don't remember if I went to go see the special editions or not. I might have. But at the time when they came out, I was more worried about, I joke around that I was more like Quinlan Voss. I was out there, drinking and chasing women. So Star Wars kind of took a back burner. But I still got, the Star Wars presents, Christmas presents, birthday presents. So, it was always there. And, then it was just always there. And there's some things I like. I love Star Wars. There's some things that I don't like or, aren't my favorite things. But, I just don't deal with them. And so far, even the bad or the good outweighs the bad. I'm going to go right to, the last movie, The Rise of Skywalker. There were some things that I didn't like in the movie, but if it was my choice, I would have done differently. But it's not my movie. I have to deal with it.
Sure. I mean, it's just how you deal with it. There's always good in every bad Star Wars, or even the worst movie or worst book or comic or whatever still has something good in it. And same as you, I just try to focus on the parts that I like, what I didn't enjoy. Okay, I'll take a walk. I'll go grab a drink while Jar Jar is falling over, or the Emperor is coming back for no reason. Even though I do love Rise of Skywalker, I do agree, understand there's some parts. Oh, the Emperor is back. Somehow, doesn't make sense. But why dwell on it? I love some other parts, and may just focus on those and talk about those. Growing up, same thing. I used to have a small, 3.5-inch Chewbacca when I was 6 or 7 years old that I didn't care about. I did play with it, but I just left it. I don't know where the hell it is right now, somewhere back in Puerto Rico. I wish I had it now because, I'm sure that there's some value on it. I used to have the Star Wars curtains growing up. There's pictures of me probably 3 or 4 years old. They might be my brothers. I have 2 older brothers. One was also born in '78 like you. That at the time, who cares? But now you see everyone, I still have my Star Wars curtains from 40 years ago. Oh man, I used to have those in my room. I don't know. I threw them out, or my mom threw them out. But yeah, it just comes back. That's the beauty about Star Wars. You can love it 40 years ago. You can start loving it 4 months ago when the last movie came out. There's always something to take off from it.
Yeah, I mean, I've said it a million times. I'm not here to take away anybody's, Star Wars fan card or somebody that says, "Oh, I'm a Star Wars fan," and then you try and talk to them and they have no idea what you're talking about. It's like, everybody's a Star Wars fan. Just depends on what level. Like on a level, from 1 to 10. And I say I'm a 7 because there's a lot I don't know. My girlfriend would say I'm a 10 because I'm sitting here talking to you, and I spend my time, and that's my hobby. I sit here and spend my time and my money so I can sit there and talk to you guys and everything.
Yeah, my wife would say the same about me at 10, probably 11, but I don't consider me on that level. I didn't follow the expanded universe when it was out. I'm extremely behind on comics. I don't read all the comics or most of them, just one or two that have come out, and read some of the canon books. But I focus more on the movies, TV shows, and some of the new canon books. But there's so much out there. There's too much to consume everything. Hats off for everyone that does. But like you said, this is not, if I watch 6 hours of Star Wars today and you watch 4, it doesn't mean that I'm more of a fan than you and everyone else out there. Even if you just like one movie, you're a fan of it. And yeah, I think you've tried to take my Star Wars card on my show a few times, but I won't say anything too much about it.
I think I've banned you from your own show. I don't think I tried to take your card away. There's a difference. Everybody gets banned, But yeah, so it's like you really got to try Audible. If you haven't tried it, some people just can't do it or don't like it. But it's a godsend for me because especially with me being in New York City, I hop on on a short day, I have back and forth to work an hour commute. So just right there, and then walking the dog and taking a shower, whatever. It's like, so there's like 3 hours right there. And that's where I get my, in that 3 hours, I can do 6 hour long podcasts at double speed. So that's how I get my list up there. Sometimes it gets crazier, but it's like right now I've never read an Afro comic. And I started, like, I was supposed to start this weekend. I was going to read them all this weekend, but because of not having a computer, not having a phone, and it was all digital that I had them. I don't actually have the actual copies. I wasn't able to start till tonight, and I think I'm on issue like 13 or 14. So then after this, I'm going to read the rest of them, and then the audio drama comes out usually around 3 o'clock in the morning. So hopefully I'll either still be awake and start it, or I'll get a good night's sleep and be able to get up at like 8 o'clock and start it. I really don't even know how long it is. They're usually a little shorter. But
is it a new story, or is it an audio drama of any of the comics that have come out previously?
I don't know. They really haven't said too much about it. Like they did do an excerpt from it, but I didn't listen to it. Just like the Thrawn one, they didn't. Usually, I'm all about, okay, I'm going to listen to it. I'm all about the spoilers. Give me everything. I want to talk about it. But it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna. People, even like friends that listen to it and did podcasts about it, or have YouTube, talking about it. Nope, I didn't listen to those ones. I'm going to go in completely unspoiled. Just like the Thrawn one that comes out, I think next month. They gave an excerpt. The first chapter or whatever came out. I didn't read it. Don't want anything to do with it. They even gave us from the High Republic. They gave us one of the. I didn't touch that. I want to go, as completely unspoiled as I can.
I used to read excerpts when they came out years ago. Then I stopped because I didn't want to get spoiled. I did read that first chapter of the High Republic just because it comes out in January, I think, so I'll forget about it. Audible, I did Lords of the Sith when it came out a few years ago. I did that one on Audible. It's pretty good. Same thing for work. I had to walk around a lot during the day at work, so I just listened to it in a few days. But I haven't really gone back to it. I should just buy the books, but probably looking into getting into Audible again. Afra, same thing. I never got into it when it came out. Again, I used to collect comic books when I was younger, stopped, and then it's just becomes too much. Every couple of weeks having to buy a new issue. I just heard great things about Afra, so I might give this audio drama a shot, and we'll see.
What I've gotten from Afra so far, man, I think I'm issue 11, 12, or 13, whatever. So if you go on like Comixology, you can get, instead of getting each one, they have like the first 6 issues, and then like the next 6 issues or 7 issues. I finished the first 2 like that. So I'm either on like, I think it's like 13 or 14, I don't know. And then I have 2 more sets that are like that. Of free ones, and then 2 more if I do decide that I want to, continue to do it. But I can rent them cheap for, like $5 or $6. But
right, I do have Comixology, so I should check it out.
Yeah, that's I've had Comixology. The guys from Baraxium hooked me up with Comixology, and I read the Chewbacca comic, like one comic book, like one issue. I've had it for probably about a year and a half. So I'm not getting my money's worth, but I'm getting it now.
Yeah.
So all right. So what else do you like in Star Wars? Like you said that comic books really aren't your thing. But you said more like movies and books really, you just, not that they're not your thing, you just don't have as much time for them. Which I can understand, because you can put on a movie and watch a movie for 2 hours and that's the whole movie. A book's going to take you 10, 12, 14 hours, maybe longer, depending on the book.
Yeah. So comics, there's just too many. There's too many comic books to keep track of. I did the Rise of Kylo Ren because it was only 4 issues, so that was pretty easy. And I connected to the Star Wars stories that were going in the movies, actually. And I also did the Charles Soule's 25-issue Vader run. I think he's done 2, but the last one. And I loved that one. I just heard people talking great about it the first, I think, 4 or 5 issues, and then I got into it, and every week I would get them. So those are the 2 comics that I've done. When the new canon started, when Disney took over, and they said, everything's going to connect a little bit, then I started to focus more on the books, and I probably got about 10. I got to start counting. But I do love a lot of the books when they come out. I've tried to keep up with most of them. So I do enjoy the books a lot. Now I'm trying to decide, because like you mentioned, we have Thrawn coming out later in August. Then we have all the new ones for Mandalorian that were mentioned. And then High Republic coming out, plus the Poe Dameron book. There's so many that I don't know if I'll be able to get all of them. Again, it's money. So gotta think how to use my money and use my time. So I'm really excited for the High Republic. So I might skip a few of the books coming out later this year, except the new Mandalorian novel. I'm definitely getting that one, or ask for it for Christmas. And then the High Republic, I'll get most of those. But yeah, I grew up with the movies because that's what we had growing up. And that's my focus is always the movies. I know the TV shows, either Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch. I talked about it on my Saturday show, and we can talk about it more if you want. And of course, Mandalorian, Kenobi, Cassian, all the other Star rumor. That's what really excites me. It's live action or TV. Star Wars is what really got me into it and what excites me. But I do enjoy reading the novels a lot.
Yeah, I don't know if it was on your show or somebody else's. I have a weird feeling that something's going on with Solo 2, because with me talking with different people, whatever they have to do with the movies or film, or whether they're artists or authors or whatever, just like over the last couple months, I've picked up little things here and there, and like none of these people or stories or anything are connected. But if you take just like one little piece of something somebody said, one little piece of something that somebody else said, and
start putting that puzzle together.
Yeah, it's like, well, if I take this piece from over here and I take this piece from over here from this person, and they said if it wasn't for COVID, this would have already happened, or they would have been working on something, and it's like you take all these like little ones, and it's like, and then you have Alden Ehret coming out saying, that he would be interested in Solo if they got a good script or something like that, or whatever it is. It's like, I think it's already in the works, whether or not they have a script yet, or whether or not they've said, hey, you guys have already we signed you for a 3-movie deal. You did your 1 movie, and then, however it works out, that the 6 1-hour episodes of Solo 2 on Disney Plus are going to count as their 2 movies because of time wise, or, like length, or how, we'll cut it out.
Yeah, it's similar. I think. How you doing, doggy?
I want everyone to know Solo 2 is going to happen. It's in the works right now. I'm the source.
That's your source. All right, that's a good source. I think I remember when Rogue One came out, or after the end, a lot of people were saying that Felicity Jones had a 3-movie deal or an extended deal, and some of the other cast, and how that they all died. We know what happens with New Hope, so what are you talking about? Now we got the Cassian Andor series. So a few of those characters are coming back. So it might be something similar, like you said. Might not be a movie. Might be going to Disney Plus, different type of TV show. Same thing. Alden has. Why is he even talking about this? Hey, what do you think about Solo 2? It's not going to happen. Next question. Well, he keeps adding every interview a little tidbit here and there that seems to be that something is happening. And again, Celebration was going to be at the end of next month. They're starting to drop little nuggets here and there. So who knows if we hear something soon, hopefully.
I think Celebration is when they were going to let us know that Solo 2 is happening. Whether they were going to do, because I think it was, so I was in Rebel Scum chat before this at 7:00. And, they were saying, Andrew was saying something about Disney and, how, whatever. And I was like, the problem is with Disney, all movie studios do it and hire a director and fire them. And, say we have the script done and then decide they want to do rewrites after whatever. The problem is with Disney and Lucasfilm, they say, this is everything that's going on with us. And then when they go and change their mind, like every other studio, everyone goes, it's such a mess over there. No, it's the exact same, except the other studios aren't in the, in the front light and aren't telling everyone in the world everything they do. It's like, okay, they hired a director. Okay, a month later, they fire the director and rewrite the script. It happens all the time, all the movies, nonstop. The only problem is that Disney's, going out and making this big thing. Like they did about the Kenobi series, and then we find out that it's being rewritten. And then it was like, oh, everybody thinks that it's because the Kenobi series is going to be too close to the Mandalorian. They knew what the Mandalorian was before they announced the Kenobi series. Mm-hmm. And so to say, oh, well, we announced the Kenobi series, the scripts are written, but now we realize it's too close to what Mandalorian's like, so now we need to rewrite them. Dude, that's BS because they already know what it was. So they said, instead of saying, we have some really good ideas for scripts or for some bullet points, they say, oh, we have the scripts already done. And now it's like, oh, the scripts are already done. Okay, now we all talk about it. And it's like, well, we didn't really have them done, but they don't say that, well, we didn't have them done. They're like, well, we're changing them now. Just kind of like going into, you talked about the Bad Batch on your show on Saturday. There's a lot of people that are surprised the Bad Batch is coming on, and they're saying that, we were first introduced to the Bad Batch with this last season. But, if you know anything about the way that the Star Wars cartoons take place, if it's coming out next year in the spring, if it's coming out next spring, or if it's coming out like February, March, April, somewhere around there, after the Mandalorian, it's already done. They're done with it. It's already probably completely done. When we were at Celebration last year, Resistance was completely done. I mean, besides the fact that it was they were no longer making it done, but it was completely written, done, and they just had it sitting there waiting for it to come out. And then it doesn't come out for another 6 months or whatever. So it's people that are just going around saying, oh, well, Dave Filoni had to go back to doing cartoons because he can't make it as a director. Dude, it's already done. So they knew, they knew before it even came out what they were doing and how they were going to go with it. And, it's up to us now to try and figure out, is it going to be one season? Is it going to be 4 episodes? Is it going to be 6 episodes? Is it going to bring in other people, other characters to set up for other shows? Is it just kind of a little fluffer show to hold us over for a couple episodes, or are they going to keep it going for a while? And that's what everyone's, instead of trying to say, okay, we have some new Star Wars coming out, let's see what it's like. Everyone's already made up their mind. They're either going to like it or they're going to hate it, or I'm not excited for it, so hopefully it better be good. Well, of course we want it to be good.
Animated shows, animated movies, they take 2-3 years to produce and get everything done. So this has been in the works since years ago. Like you mentioned, it's not because the Bad Batch hit and season 7 of Clone Wars was one of their biggest hits. They've been working on this for years. And also going back to our first point, it's a double-edged sword in the world we live in now, because we need to know what's going on. What's the problem with Solo? Oh, they didn't market it. Oh, it came too close to Avengers. But at the same time, we're also saying, oh, where's the Solo trailer? No one has seen anything about Solo, because we want to know what's happening. We want to know all the details. So yeah, and we love Celebration and Comic-Con and all those panels when Marvel goes and tells you this is our slate for the next 10 years. Then with something doesn't hit on that date, oh, there's issues. Oh, they have problems. Same with Star Wars. There's an issue with Lucasfilm or with a movie. Oh, fire everyone. There's problems everywhere, from the whatever menial job you might have to the biggest one. But because it's Disney, because it's Star Wars, because it's in the forefront, then any little misstep is going to get exaggerated 20-fold. I'm fine. Like I mentioned, I liked all of the movies. Some I love, some I'll watch them, but they're not my favorite. But I can't say if Lord and Miller or Solo would have been better than what we got, for example. Well, Colin Trevorrow, yeah, we read the script. Script doesn't translate to the TV screen. So who knows if that movie would actually be any better than what we got. So it's easy being that Monday morning quarterback, sitting back, watching it and say, oh, I would have done this different. Why did they fire that guy? Didn't you see Spider-Verse? They did great. They should have done that in Solo. Well, it's a different type of movie, a different circumstances. And then think about Flash. How many times had the new Flash movie been rewritten? There's been 3 different directors mentioned. No one cares about it right now. No one talks about the Flash not happening. But when they see the first trailer, oh yeah, Flash is back. This is the one we should have gotten. But Star Wars doesn't get that pass. I think because it's been in the culture for so long, 40 years, 42 years, 43, whatever. So it's, I don't know. People just find something to latch onto and complain. Yeah, Bad Batch, like I mentioned a few days ago, it wasn't my initial choice for what I wanted in a new animated series, because I'm basically done with that time period with 7 seasons of Clone Wars. I want to move to something different. But everything we've gotten from Star Wars animation, I've enjoyed to a certain point, with Resistance being the less, because it wasn't meant for me. It was for a younger audience. But I watched every episode and I enjoyed it for what it was, because I went with that mentality. So I'm not saying anything bad about Bad Batch. Hopefully when that trailer comes out, I'll eat my words, I'll watch it and I'll give it a shot. And hopefully, like you said, we all want it to be good. But going out there and saying, oh, this is because Filoni didn't cut it. Come on. We know Filoni is going to keep moving up in Lucasfilm and doing more TV, live action TV, eventually a movie, and then he will do his animation like all directors do. They do animation, they do live action, they do musicals, action movies, dramas. It's part of their job. So yeah, it's just something else to complain, I guess.
Yeah. Just really quick, Heidi, I'm sorry to hear about your mother. And yeah, dude, turn the chat into whatever you want to. If you want to talk about how great I am, go ahead and talk about how great I am in the chat. If you want to talk about whatever's going on in your life, go ahead and talk about, whatever's going on in your life. Because then why me and Alberto are carrying on. Everybody in the chat, you can all talk to each other about whatever it is. Because I'm not one of those people. It shouldn't be like, if I see you talking about something that we're not talking about, it doesn't bother me at all. Like, go ahead and talk about whatever it is. I'm glad you're here talking with us, and hopefully sometimes it will mesh up. But yeah, do whatever you gotta do. But with that, I think what happened when Disney got bought Star Wars. I mean, there's a bunch of other stuff that's included with that too, and it took them. It was a little bit of growing pains. They took over. They started doing some things, seeing what worked, seeing what didn't work. Working out some kinks with a story group, and going back a few years ago, now it's like you have the story group is in full swing. Everybody's got their thing that they do. They all work together, but they all have their own little kind of like little jobs. But that I don't really think they pull rank on each other. It's just kind of like we sit around and we talk and we agree on stuff. They don't like, well, I'm the one in charge of this, so that's what we're gonna go with. And now it's like you kind of see the books are starting to come together, and there's pieces of the books that are branching off from each other, and you're gonna see in especially I think coming up in the Mandalorian season 2. I don't think it's going to be a guest appearance of the week thing. I think it's going to be, that group, Ahsoka, Rex, whoever else is there, Sabine, like whatever it's going to be. I think we're going to see, like we saw, I think it's episode 4. Was it the heist one where they go and break out of jail? Was that 4 or 5? I think it was 4.
It's 5.
5. Okay.
4
yeah.
is that twin one, and then 5, maybe
okay.
6.
So I think it's gonna be like I think it's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be like that. I think it's gonna be like where we have a group, and that's gonna be the group. So there's 3 or 4 of your people that we've heard about having. They're all gonna be in one episode. So it's that still leaves you 7 other episodes, to have without anybody. But then you have the whole Boba Fett thing. Is that gonna be? Is it gonna be? We still don't know. Is that going to be like a couple of episodes, or is it going to be kind of like maybe mentioned a little bit? Maybe we find out about it, and we hear like in universe rumors about what's going on, and then there's one episode that it really deals with it. If we go off of what the first season was, I don't think all these people coming in there are going to be a problem, because you're going to have one episode with everybody, and then whatever it works out, it's going to be done well, and that I can only go off of what the first season of The Mandalorian was like. It was great. I don't think they're going to change it up a lot and, make it completely different than it was. I think they're going to follow along the same lines. Pauline just said flashbacks. It could be flashbacks. We might not even get, like I said, like the 3, so you like Rex, Ahsoka, and whoever, you might not even get them in real life right now. It could be a flashback of something that happened, that he might, Din Djarin might not even been part of, or might not have even seen. It could be something, just something else that happened, or the Boba Fett could be flashbacks, or there's just so many possibilities right now that we don't know. We don't know anything. So even trying, I can say I think it's going to be this, or I want it to be this, but nobody really knows.
Yeah, do you think it's going to be 8 episodes or maybe 10 or 12?
So once again, I don't know.
But I agree. I doubt that they're going to do a guest of the week, because that way then it falls from what The Mandalorian was and what everyone loved about it. The Mando, Baby Yoda, of course, and you can't mess with that formula too much. It can be the same as season 1, but you can't mess with it too much, bringing all these new characters, taking the attention away from the main cast. We have Moff Gideon. We don't know how he got his darksaber, so maybe it's a flashback to that. And then we get Sabine and Ahsoka in that flashback, and Rex maybe. And that's one episode. Same with Boba Fett, although I do want him to appear in present time, not in flashbacks. I don't think that more than 1 or 2 episodes should be devoted to him. Again, I love Boba Fett, probably my favorite character, or top 2. But it's not his show, and he shouldn't overtake Din Djarin, because everyone knows who Boba Fett is, like him or not.
Yep.
People, my kids know. They see Boba Fett, they know who that is. Cobb Vanth, not really. But if you bring Boba Fett for 1 or 2 episodes, kill him, or he goes to do something else, all right, I got my fix. I got to see Boba Fett again, but it's the Mandalorian show. Keep it moving. Bring these special guests or characters for 1 or 2 or a quick mention, like you said, and keep going. It's a great team behind it. And I doubt it's going to happen, is when studios start meddling with it and say, oh, everyone loves Baby Yoda. Now he has to be a whole episode, just him or whatever. But I think they've learned, like you said, it was growing pains when they started in 2014 or 15. And they've been doing this for 5-6 years. I think they have a good track record right now. They know how to work together. They've given a lot of freedom to Jon Favreau and, of course, Dave Filoni. So I trust them 100% with this show. They hit it out of the park, again, going with a baseball analogy from where we started. And I can't wait for it. Bring on all the guests. And I trust the team behind it to use them well and not just put them there because, everyone loved Ahsoka in season 7. Let's put her in. Like we just talked about. They've been thinking about this for years and months ago. There is not just, this is the hot character. Let's put her in the show. They know what they're doing, and what is it? 4 months? We'll find out. So, yeah, excited for that one.
Yeah, just really quick. So Vader Girl said she doesn't want Boba Fett in the Mandalorian. Yeah, I can kind of see that because,
Get that
I
out
mean,
of here.
if Boba Fett and Din Djarin got in a fight, Boba Fett's gonna win. The only way the only way Din Djarin's gonna win is with the help from his friends, Cara
If
Dune,
Cara Dune was there,
Baby Yoda, Grief Karga. I mean that's really I think the only way that you're going to see him win, unless because he's not up to the same snuff.
yeah, I
You
don't know
know,
if Boba will be after him, if all the rumors are true about Cobb Vanth or whatever. Maybe Boba's after him just to get his armor back, and this is a side story or a story in the background as Din Djarin is moving along, and they meet up, but they don't fight, or it's not the main attraction for Boba Fett to be there to be after Din Djarin. But yeah, it's again, we don't want to take too much away from Mando,
yeah.
Baby Yoda, and Cara Dune, and all those great characters to introduce. We gotta give them their dues, and we know we hopefully we get more Cara Dune, more Grief Karga, because they were great. It was a great introduction for all of them. So hopefully we get more of them, and they don't get sidetracked because all new characters have to be introduced.
But yeah, I mean, it's like if they give Boba Fett too much time, he's going to take away from the show because he's just like if they I know time wise it won't work out, but if they put Darth Vader in there, he'd have to be in there for a quick split second, like they did in Rogue One at the end. Because if they would put him in the beginning of it, everyone would want him to come back. They would want to know more. So it's going to have to be like at the end of something where he just comes in and I mean, whatever it is. The ambassador is here. Everybody, the ambassador has a good YouTube channel out there. He talks about everything. Not just Star Wars. He does some crazy stuff too. Like, I mean, I say no, like, no, he covers like all of like sci-fi. That's what I mean by like crazy stuff.
Oh, cool.
Whatever.
I'll check him out.
But
I'll check you out, Ambassador.
So he's been on here a couple times. I've been on his show a couple times. We haven't seen each other. We haven't hooked up in a while though. But he had just said that. There's a rumor that Moff Gideon is related to Vader. I mean, I'd have to see how that works out. I don't think it could be his child or anything, because he was never with anyone but Padme. He was never with anyone but Padme, as far as we know. I mean, as far as they've told us, like, not as far as we know, as far as they've told us. So unless his DNA was cloned or something like that, but then you get into more cloning stuff. Unless his, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how they'd really run it.
Because I know they've been. I think I forgot his name. The actor. He was talking about he might be one of the chosen one, or some not chosen one, but maybe force sensitive. Do you think he might have been a inquisitor and then turned to being a Moff, and that's why he has the dark saber and might be good in a fight? Because he said he's gonna be using the dark saber. He's gonna put up a fight, and he's fighting someone with a lightsaber. And I don't see him really standing up to Ahsoka, which is the one we think is gonna fight him with with a lightsaber, unless he's an ex-inquisitor or something, has some force powers.
Yeah, I mean it's it's who does he fight with the dark saber? And like I know that we know he fights with the dark saber because he said it, and he said he's broken a bunch of them. But is he fighting someone with a lightsaber, or is he using it to block blaster bolts, and so he's actually he's using it but not fighting anybody with it? So how is that gonna turn out to be? It's like, so I don't really know what to go with from from there. And like, yeah, so then it brings in, if he is fighting somebody with I think we lost Alberto. Did we? Let's see here. Oh. All right, I think he's back. Is he back?
All right, am I back?
Do we have him back?
Yes,
You're
hopefully.
back.
All right, sorry. I won't talk bad about Moff Gideon again. I guess he cut me off.
I thought you fell asleep on us.
That's later. Give me 10 more minutes.
Yeah, but it's like, so it just depends on, does he actually fight somebody with a lightsaber? If he fights someone with a lightsaber, that really changes it. What if he fights Boba Fett? What if Boba Fett's got a lightsaber that he picked up somewhere? So now we have Boba Fett and Moff Gideon fighting over the dark saber. Who's the actual ruler of Mandalore? Because it comes out that this whole time that Boba Fett really was a Mandalorian, because his father was a Mandalorian, because his father was raised by Mandalorians, which, if you follow the creed, makes him a Mandalorian, and then his father raised him as a Mandalorian. So as of the creed, even though he's a clone, the other clones aren't Mandalorians, but because of the creed, he's a Mandalorian. So now he's fighting Moff Gideon for the darksaber. Boom. There you go.
Got it. If not season 3, you just wrote it. I mean, you never know. He was inside that Sarlacc stomach for a while, and I'm sure there was a lightsaber down there. Some old Jedi fell down, so Boba got his lightsaber, cuts his way out of the Sarlacc, and that's it. And then he goes fight the darksaber and Moff Gideon. You got it. Can't wait. October can't get here quick enough.
Okay, so I need to talk to my sources.
Yeah, that's what happened. That's what I heard. I heard that. Yeah. I let people pet me, and then they have to tell me secrets.
Man, my dogs don't give me any sources. I have 2. I gotta go find them and see what they're hiding from me.
But yeah, I mean, so it's just, it's like right now, and Mail Shooter said that it's, he just heard it was a rumor, it might not even be true, but it's like, it's something fun to speculate on, for us to talk about. Like, we could sit here all night and talk about, well, how can he be, a Force user or whatever. I think it was Heidi or Pauline said maybe he's related to Padme somehow. So he might not be related to Vader, but he's related to Luke and Leia. Something along those lines. And the Vader thing, it's kind of true, because he's kind of related to Vader because his kids are related to him. So, I mean, there's just so many, like, it's when you can sit here and have fun talks like this. Like, that's what I enjoy about the speculation. Not when people, say that, oh, well, they're,
it has to be this. Yeah.
They're canceling the sequel trilogy.
No, that's
that's the stuff that
I would never talk about that on my show. I'll try not to do it on yours. I'm not even gonna give them my breath on that one.
I'm just saying,
No, I get it.
like things like that. So it's I mean, that's fun to talk about. And like, then what if like we said, like, what if Boba Fett does come back, and Boba Fett? So the way they bring Boba Fett back is he comes back and they can't fight. They can't defeat Moff Gideon because he is force. He's force sensitive. And I don't know why that just happened. But he's force sensitive, and he's got the dark saber, and they can't compete with him because they've never seen, a force sensitive person as a Mandalorian. And even though they have all the gadgets, that's why the Mandalorians have all the gadgets, is to fight the Jedi, and so they can compete with the Jedi. No one's ever done it before. So here comes Boba Fett stepping in to save them from Moff Gideon. Maybe, yeah, I'm going to work on that. I'm going to run with that.
Yeah, work on your treatment. I think that was fine. My pitch to it was, I think I talked about this a few weeks ago on my show when all the rumors about Boba Fett, Cobb Vanth, Rex, and all them came out that same week. It's somehow he makes it out of the Sarlacc, but obviously he's all banged up and messed up. Then either Jawas or Sand people find him, take him to their village to...
Oh, all right. I don't know if I froze or if... Alberto froze. So I don't know. It looks like maybe him. I'm not sure. But all right. So yeah. So anyways, I'm gonna keep talking about what he was talking about just in case I'm right and I'm not frozen and he is frozen. So like yeah, so we know that Boba Fett dies. Boba Fett's dead because he ends up inside the Sarlacc. But if he got out of the Sarlacc somehow, then it's not an issue. And it's just because of what happens with him then once he gets out of the Sarlacc pit. Let's see if we have Alberto back.
I don't know what's going on. And I just got new internet last week, AT&T fiber, and then I'm cutting out every second. I don't know.
It must be. It's that Florida weather. I know it happens a lot, but
Florida.
I kind of kept your thought going because I wasn't sure if you got froze, or if you froze, or if I froze. So I just kept going. So Boba Fett gets out of the Sarlacc, and he's on the side of the pit.
Yeah, and then I'm gonna say Sand People because we met the Tusken Raiders in season 1 of Mandalorian. They bring him to their village, nurse him back to health, but in the meantime, they barter his armor to this Cobb Vanth. And then once Boba Fett is back to health, he goes, "Hey, where's my armor? Oh, we sold it." And then he starts hearing about Cobb Vanth and everything, and then goes to find him. And that's how Boba Fett makes his way into the Mandalorian show. It doesn't affect really Din Djarin and his story. You can still have Cobb Vanth in canon like he was in that novel when he was mentioned, and you still have Boba Fett being the Boba Fett that we know from Return of the Jedi. He gets his armor back, gets out of there, and then we continue the story. So that's my kind of thinking about bringing Boba Fett back. But any Boba is good Boba for me, so I'll take whatever. Give me that lightsaber that you're saying. That's what I want to see now.
All right, so since you think that Boba's coming back real time, episode. So it was what episode 4 was where we have the Jingle Jangle.
I'm gonna say episode 4. Yeah, that one on Tatooine.
Okay, so who was it that came up to what's her name? Who is still alive? Yeah, to Fennec Shan. Who came? I'm a fake fan, so sorry. Who came up to Fennec Shan? Because Fennec Shan's still alive. Or once again, we get Fennec Shan. We know that she's in season 2. Do we get her as a flashback, or is she actually in it again, real time?
I think she's real time. Hopefully, again, you have a great actress in Ming-Na Wen. You bring her back. Originally, I was thinking that was going to be Boba Fett with that Jingle Jangle, but if you follow my train of thought, then it's probably Cobb Vanth with Boba Fett's armor. I would have loved if it was Cat Bane instead of Boba Fett. Even though I love Boba Fett, I would really, really love to see Cat Bane, but he might be too obscure to a lot of people. But I don't think it was Moff Gideon that found there. Has to be a new character that we haven't met yet. So I would love if it was Boba Fett, but if the rumors are true, then it makes more sense. It might be Cobb Vanth that finds her.
Well, because Cad Bane's a better bounty hunter than Boba Fett, but
yeah, I'll give you that point.
So, and I think bringing Cad Bane into this would be better because it wouldn't take away then from Din Djarin.
Yeah,
they could do a whole episode on Cad Bane.
Easy.
But they do a whole episode on, like we said, if they do a whole episode on Boba Fett, he steals the show, and then that's it for the season, or at least a couple shows until we find out, whatever, I don't know.
Yeah. So even though we hear the jingle jangle of Boba Fett's spurs, most of Boba Fett's appearances, his boots have 2 spikes up front. the shadowy figure that finds Fennec Shen doesn't have those two spikes on the front of his boots. We just hear the spurs and, oh, that's Boba Fett, but it doesn't have those two spikes on the front. Yeah, you really can't see them on this in here, but yeah, you can see them. But he has two spikes on the front of his boots that you don't see those on the one that shows up in the Mandalorian. So that's why I didn't think it was Boba Fett at first, because I didn't hear the spurs sound. And that's why I was hoping it was Cat Bane. But when everyone started saying, no, listen to the sound, then I listened back, and yeah, it's the same sound from Empire Strikes Back. So it's then hard to go away from it and say, no, it's not Boba Fett, it's someone else. But I would 100% prefer Cat Bane to show up in Mandalorian. And right, it's just a new character for most people, and it doesn't take away from Din Djarin and the story that they've introduced.
But, you know, then again, you also have, if it's not Cad Bane, and you want to introduce Cad Bane, that might be for season 3. You know, you got to think about all these people we want to see right now, and if you go and you name them off, and you name off, you know, the ones we already know that we're going to have are rumored to be in there. You know, I'm basically confirmed. You have, you know, Rex, Ahsoka,
Sabine, you have the other Mandalorian, who's sister to Satine. Who is it?
Katie's.
Yeah.
Katie. What the hell her name is?
Yeah, Katie Sackhoff.
Katie Sackhoff.
Is, come on, someone in the chat correct us and take our badges away, because we forgot. You know what I'm talking about.
You know, so it's like, I mean, that's where I think, you know, that I mean, that's where I think you're going to get a group of them, or going into showing them to get people interested in the Rebels spinoff that is coming out, which is, you know, I put my money behind that, because Corey and Noah are still talking about it, and you know, they have their you know, their sources, and you know, they don't run with stories until they know they're going to get it and hear it from a couple of people. And you know, they said we were going to get the Bad Batch. They didn't think it was going to be the Bad Batch, so they thought it was going to be something different. But you know, they said, okay, we were wrong, but you know, we were right, but we were wrong. But here it is, it's going to be the Bad Batch. And everybody said, no, you're wrong, no, you're wrong. And then 3 months later, oh, guess what? We got the Bad Batch.
Yep.
So you know, them saying that we're going to get a, you know, the Rebels 2 or a spinoff of the Rebels or whatever, I believe it. You know, more so than you know, my sources that tell me that you know, Solo 2 is already in the works.
Yeah, I think your dog gives them the better sources, the better stories, and then just gives you whatever's left that they didn't want. So yeah, Rebels 2, what do you think? It's going to be a search for Ezra? That's what everyone wants. That's what it was leading up to at the end of season 1. So hopefully it's that one if we get something from Rebels. Or do you think it will be something different, or you want something different?
I want to see them going off to find Ezra, and then when they find him kind of quickly, I don't want it to be long and drawn out, Ezra's working with Thrawn, because Thrawn was never a bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like, was Thrawn good or bad? Well, Thrawn was working for the Chiss. Thrawn was working for his people. Mm-hmm. And the best way for him to work for his people was to work with the Empire. And, you know, we find out that he like really didn't like the Empire. I mean, one of the best things in Star Wars is Thrawn messing with Vader. You know, that's like one of the best things that we have in Star Wars. So, you know, Thrawn was in it for his people, and it just happens to help his people. He had to go help these other people because it didn't matter to him what happened, you know, good or bad. You know, whatever. He just did what he had to do to help his people, and he comes back now to help his people. And Ezra's there and realizes that, you know, Thrawn wasn't a bad guy. Thrawn was doing what he needed to do to help his people, and now Ezra's there helping helping the Chiss and helping their people, because they have stuff that's as messed up, if not more messed up than the Empire out in the the unknown regions, which is where I think Baby Yoda. So like you have the unknown region, so you have like the unknown regions, and then like after the unknown regions, you have like the unknown regions. That's where Baby Yoda comes from, and so all of the Yoda species that are from like the unknown regions, so like double unknown regions. They're all force sensitive, but it's kind of like, there you go. It's kind of like
choice. Yeah.
It's kind of like Superman. Everybody's got these powers, or nobody's got the powers because of the sun, because of the color of the sun. But everybody's got the powers. They come to Earth, everybody's got the powers then. So on their planet, they're not Superman. If they come here, they're Superman. On Yoda's planet, or the Yoda species planet that they're from, for whatever reason, they all have these, super force, the strongest force users in the world, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But then everybody has it, or because of the plant life on there, it keeps them from using it. And then they end up coming here for however the hell it happens, and it's like, oh my god, look how powerful they are. That's why you have Baby Yoda is, he's 50 years old, and everybody's like, maybe he does speak English, or maybe he does speak. He just hasn't spoken yet. Maybe he completely understands. Maybe he just has this small little tiny body like a toddler, even though he's been, force sensitive or able to speak basic since he was 10 years old or 5 years old or whatever. He just kind of sits around and chills. I mean, because think about it, Yoda just sits around and chills the whole time. What if that's what the whole species does?
They're floating on those movable bassinets. Yoda used one on, I think, Attack of the Clones. He uses one just to move around. Baby Yoda uses one.
Yeah, like that's how they always are, dude. They just sit around and chill because, to get into like some serious talk about aliens, like that's why you don't see these big, huge, bulking aliens. They're these little tiny things because they don't need the bodies anymore. Their mind is so advanced, and they can, teleport and use telepathy and everything else that, that's why they have these frail little tiny bodies, and because they don't need to do anything. Well, that's how the Yodas are.
Yeah. Hey, I was watching the new Unsolved Mysteries yesterday, and the first episode is about alien abduction, so we can go that route, but I don't know if we want to. But yeah, you never know. Maybe their midi-chlorian count changes when they get to the core worlds or something. It's being repressed out there in the unknown regions, like you're saying. I know people have been saying, are all Yoda species force sensitive or not? I still don't know where I fall on that spectrum. But it is a good theory, and I think it makes sense to make a whole species force sensitive, or maybe when they come, like you said, over there's nothing, everyone's the same. Over here, it just gets expressed more and more. We'll see. I don't know if this will be revealed anytime soon, but it's something to consider. Again, I said it. I've been asking for a while because the child is 50 years old. Yoda says that he's been training Jedi for 800 years. So that means he's been training since he was 100 years. So he had to be a Padawan, a Jedi Knight, and all that in between 0 and 100. Baby Yoda's 50. He really hasn't done anything yet. So is it from 50 years to 100 that they grow in power and size and whatever? So again, it's a mystery. Those Baby Yodas, they're cute, but they're hiding something. Maybe he has a flying saucer also. It's a flying saucer. It looks like his bassinet, so maybe.
Once again, it's just complete speculation, but it's kind of like, you take a little baby goes from, 12 inches to in a year and doubles in size in a year. And then it takes him 3 or 4 years to double in size. And then it takes him another 10 years to double in size. But it's like, what if, like at 50, so he's fully capable of doing everything he needs to do because he's just kind of hanging out, playing possum or whatever, trying to, see what's going on. Because he doesn't have, he might, his force powers might not hit until 45 or, whatever it is. But then it's like, then 50 hits, and it's like puberty from 50 to 100 or 50, whatever. 50 to 75 is puberty. And then he's like fully there. Then it's just growing on there.
Yeah, season 2, he'll be walking. He'll have jeans on, sunglasses. He'll be a total different Baby Yoda now. He just grew up in that one season.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a lot. We can keep going. It's a lot with Yoda.
We keep talking forever, man. But that's the other thing too. It's like I said this for the Rise of Skywalker, that they were going to send the Mandalorian was going to send, or Din Djarin. I don't even think we knew his name was Din Djarin then. Din Djarin was going to send Baby Yoda back to his home planet, and then Baby Yoda was going to come back with all the other Yodas because they're Force sensitive, and that's how they were going to defeat Palpatine. And I was like, that would be a fucking kick-ass story right there.
A lot of Baby Yodas just coming out from on Exegol, just a bunch of just kill everyone. I know some people, again, they're gonna rewrite the sequel trilogy anyway, so maybe they go that route. They'll call you and say, hey, can we use that story? Sounds good.
Yeah, man. I've secretly been working for the story group this whole time. Stealing all of your ideas. They're now mine.
So do you think they're going, when the armorer says that he needs to take Baby Yoda back to his people, is she talking about the Jedi or the species? So everyone think it's Jedi, right? I
think the Jedi. That's where you get into when Star Wars came out, Obi-Wan Kenobi was the last Jedi, and then he trained Luke to become the last Jedi, and then we find out, all right, Ambassador, have a good night. We'll talk soon. Then we find out that there were other Jedi left over, but they had to be in hiding if they weren't killed. So I was like, that's where you have that's where you get Kanan from Rebels. That's where you get Cal from Fallen Order. Ahsoka comes out now, and Ahsoka's still alive. And you find out that there's still these couple out there all around. But there was never anything strong. They would have never been able to build up a Jedi army because they would have been destroyed too fast because Vader would have sensed them. Which is kind of like, why didn't he know about Obi-Wan? Did Obi-Wan come so far from the Force, even though he kind of used it, but not really, not as much as, but yeah, that's a whole other conversation we can talk about.
There's a theories coming, so you never know. They might explain it.
We'll find out in the Kenobi series. But yeah, so I mean, it's just, there's so much, if you can have fun, positive talk, there's so much time you can spend having these theories. And, you might think my Yoda theory is completely insane, but if you're like, you take it as, I mean, yeah, it's possible, but that's just where, you need to be respectful, and you have to have people that, if there's a comic book that answers one of my questions, I need someone that knows the answer to tell me, and I'm not going to be mad at them. That's how you learn about Star Wars. And when it gets into, I think it was Justina Ireland posted today. I forget exactly the post, but it's okay if you just like Star Wars movies, but you're doing yourself a disservice because books and comic books are canon too. And you're missing, and movies are only half the story at most.
There's some great stories being told in the books and comic books. And like she said, just how much you want to invest in it. If you want to keep ingesting Star Wars, then there's so much. Even if you didn't like any of the sequel trilogies, there's so many books, and they cover so many different spectrums of what Star Wars should be or could be, that there's a little bit for everyone. And usually say in my show, if I start saying, "Oh, I want to see this," I gotta hold back. No, want is too much of a strong word in Star Wars right now. You can hope to see something, and then when you get the answer, it's up to us to decide. Okay, it's not what I thought, but I'll dig it. I'll see where they're going with it. And if not, then all right, didn't work for me. Let me see what else is out there. But when people start just going nuts over any little theory or whatever comes out, that's when you have to step back and say, is it really even worth it to waste your time on this? That's where the problems come from.
Yeah, it's just, I say like this is what Disney should do, or whatever, but I don't mean this is what they should do. I mean, like, I would have liked to see this, or this would have been my idea. And a lot of times I don't even mean like I think my idea would have been better. It's just like I just said with like the Yoda species thing. It's like, what if they would have gone with that? Like, not my idea would have been better, or I think they should have, or whatever. Because whatever they give me, they're going to give me. Pauline asked a question here. Did Disney not try to make some of the books canon? Are you talking about what's now Legends? And what they kind of did was said, from here on is all Legends. It doesn't exist in canon. They were good ideas. We're going to use them for ideas maybe or whatever. But it's too hard to say out of these 200 books, this one's, we like this one, this one, we like these, and these are now canon, because a lot of the books completely contradict each other.
Yeah.
And one of the books, Chewie gets killed by a moon.
Oh, Chewie.
But I think he's back, but he comes back to life a book or two later. Luke Skywalker falls in love with a spaceship, I think, and marries it. I don't know. I don't know if he marries, but it's something like that.
Not all three, right?
Not all three. All three is so annoying, man. I know. No, that was
she's okay.
She's.
We'll have our first Star Wars fight right now. How dare you not like all three? She represents so much. Droid rights. Are you against droid rights, Michael? Is that it?
I'd say, I think, at least she has a really good personality, but she doesn't. But so it's kind of like, so what they did is they said, okay, we're taking over from here on, and like Plagueis, the book Plagueis is one of the best books that they have, and it's not canon. And if it would have came out 2 months later, it would have been canon.
Yeah. I haven't read that yet, but same thing. I've only heard great things about it, and that it could be made canon so easily. So hopefully it does. But I gotta go and find that one and read it, because I just heard great things about that Plagueis book.
But it's like they can then take things like they've been doing, especially with The Mandalorian. They've been cherry picking stories and characters and storylines and putting those into The Mandalorian. So they're bringing those things that they want or that are good back to life. Like one of the big things people have is Luke Skywalker got married and had kids. Well, that doesn't fit into the story. So that's Legends. That's, not going to happen. Do we ever find out at some point in time that he did get married? I mean, maybe we do. And,
and there's 30 years of that story that we don't know what the hell he was doing. So
he got married. He got married. He had kids. We don't talk about it. And like we know, the First Order was going and killing and kidnapping people in power and killing and kidnapping their kids.
Yeah.
Not so much killing, kidnapping, so that they then have to fight their own children. They could come out with a story that Luke's, Mara Jade, Luke's wife, was killed, and make that canon, and his children were kidnapped by the First Order or whatever. I don't think they will, because it just makes it too convoluted and hard. I think if they would have, if they were going to tell that story, they would have told that story for 7. That's what would have been in 7. The continuation of that. But they didn't want the sequel trilogy to be about the original trilogy people. They wanted it to be about these new people, and that's why each one got to say goodbye and got to die. Han dies in 7, saying goodbye to him. Luke dies in 8, saying goodbye to him. Leia was supposed to die in 8 or in 9, and the way they have her die is because they had to have her die because she died in real life.
Unfortunately,
so
it's. I know some people just wanted the big 3 back and made them the principals for the last trilogy, but since 7 came out, you had to know that this wasn't about them. It was about giving them that last hurrah to be able to say goodbye, but focusing on new characters. And that's the way it should have been. You can't just keep retreading on the past and with the same characters we've not grown and loved. We got new characters in the prequels. Then we have that trilogy, the original trilogy, and those guys. This new trilogy should have been about the new cast, and it was. And we were fortunate enough to get something with Luke, Han, and Leia. Of course, it had to change for 9 because of what happened with Carrie Fisher, but you have to move past it, give it to the new cast, let them have their own trilogy, bring new fans into it. And going back to the original point, the expanded universe, too many things going on. Lucas never really liked it or made it canon or was pro it. So it's just too much to say, everything here is canon, but they're cherry picking what they like. They started with Thrawn, and they've cherry picked a few more ideas, and I'm sure they'll keep doing it. And hopefully that Plagueis one is one that comes back at some point. So it's a great idea that just the way he was introducing episode 3, how Palpatine mentions it, they should do more with Plagueis. So hopefully they don't forget about him.
Well, something happened too recently that Plagueis isn't canon. And everybody got upset because he's talked about it. He's talked about in episode 3. Just because he's talked about it, his name is canon. There was a Plagueis, but that could have been a story that Palpatine told. That doesn't mean it's real. We don't know. And everybody always says that the Sith don't lie, and the Sith lie all the time, and they mislead, and they only tell half truths. And oh shit, my computer's starting to blink. My computer froze. My phone, because I got this phone.
Didn't he just tell Vader, no, you killed your wife? Kids? No, you don't have any kids. In your anger, you killed her. No, she's alive. I felt her. No. Trust me. You just got burned. You're having delirious. You killed her. They lie. They lie a lot.
Yeah. And, either Palpatine killed her or she gave up. Life, it's like when somebody's spouse dies and they die shortly after, and people are like, it's because they had, broken heart syndrome, or, they just kind of gave up. They didn't have the will to live anymore. So it's like, there's somebody asked a question. Pauline said, see, Pauline, you got to understand, we don't get offended in here. Like, you're not, you're saying that Kylo Ren was the only good character in your opinion. Like, and you can say, see, I'm reading it as in your opinion, you're saying that, So that's fine. That's how you feel. That's how you feel. You're not in here saying how it ruined your childhood and we're all stupid and, you're not starting a campaign or whatever. So, that's completely cool. Heidi asked about not all the children were Force sensitive. Like it says in here, which we don't know. I'm going over right now. I got about 30 or 40 pages left, I think, maybe 50. Lando's daughter was kidnapped by the First Order. Janna was kidnapped by the First Order. It doesn't say that Janna is Lando's daughter, but she is.
You think? I hope not, but maybe.
Well, okay, so at the end of Tross, here's Lando. How you doing, kid? And she's like, I want to go find my mommy and my daddy.
Is that what she said? I thought I heard something different, but again, Florida, they might have changed the wording a little bit.
And
let's find out. I do think that everyone from Company 77 was force sensitive. Although stormtroopers that rebel that Jaina was part of, I think they were all force sensitive, and that's why, same as Finn, they felt something and had to jump ship. But yeah, maybe Jaina's Lando's daughter.
Did they all feel that at the same time? Did Finn get that feeling where, shit, I got to stop doing this right now? And Jaina and all her people get that at the exact same time. And that was when, Rey was first, getting the Force.
I haven't think about it, especially the Finn and Jaina and Company 77 having that connection, that idea at the same time. But it may be because when we meet them on Kef Bir, Jaina and her company, they've knocked down the Star Destroyer. They built those two skiffs. They've been living there for a while. And between when we meet Finn and Tross, like you said, it's been 2 years maybe. So it does make sense timeline wise. It might fit that everything happened at the same time, and that's a great way to say that all those force sensitive kids kind of had that awakening at the same time, around the same time that Rey was awakening. Also, I haven't thought about it. See, I'll give you that. I'll give you that theory.
That was twice. You gave me something on your show too.
That doesn't count. That was last week. I'm going for this week.
All right. So yeah, I mean, think about it. Rey gets the Force Awakens. The Force Awakens in Rey. The Force Awakens in Finn. The Force Awakens and what was it, 77?
Yeah.
The Force Awakens and everybody in 77. At the same time, the Force is awakening in her. The Force Awakens and Broom Boy, and so it's all over the galaxy at the same time. The Force Awakens and all these people. But nobody knows it.
Yeah.
Nobody knows. Nobody knows what happened. Nobody knows why. And it just kind of happens as it goes on. And then, Rey's a little bit more in tune with it and okay, fine. But, it's like that was the Force Awakened in the entire galaxy.
Yeah. And going back to Pauline's point, saying that Kylo is the best written character, I do agree to a certain extent. He's the most consistent, but that's also a problem when you have 3 different writing teams for 3 different movies. They all see the characters different. So we know Finn was different in all 3 movies. Same with Poe. Rey is kind of consistent, but there's some issues. I think Kylo is pretty consistent in the way he's written throughout 3 movies. But having 3 different writing teams, everyone envisions those characters different. So it's difficult, I'm sure, on their end to make everything fit. But they hit out the part with Kylo. One of my brothers really doesn't like the new trilogy too much. His favorite character is Kylo. And it's probably for the same reason, because for him, it's the one that is written the best. So if that wording makes sense, now I can't even speak. But yeah, I think for me, all characters work. I think Finn is the one that suffers most because all 3 movies is doing things completely different. But I know Kylo is the one that everyone loves from start to finish. If you love that character, it's usually the one that people go to as the most consistent one in the sequel trilogy.
But I think Poe's really good in there too, because you got Poe's his hot shot, and I say 1, but when I say 1, I mean the first one of the sequel trilogy. So it's actually 7. So when I say the first one, I mean and then the second one, he's the same hot shot, but now Leia was the one that kept him in line. Now she's gone. I mean, she's not dead yet, and here comes this lady who he doesn't know anything about her, and he's like, "Why am I going to listen to you? My boss is out of commission. I'm not going to listen to you. I'm in charge. I should be the boss." And
was he relieved that he wasn't put in charge in Last Jedi, or did he take it as really Holdo? This Captain Holdo is in charge? Because when they say, "Oh, I'm the one that's gonna be in charge," or whatever it is, and he's kind of waiting, Captain Holdo, and his eyes kind of changed. You think he was relieved, or he really wanted to be in charge?
He wanted to be in charge. Because think about it, all right, so he messes up, with dropping with going for the attract on the dreadnought.
Mm-hmm.
So he's got to redeem himself now. Now Leia's not there; he still needs to redeem himself, and then all of a sudden, there's this other person that's in his way. So that's why he decides they're wrong. He knows the better way to do it and everything. And, people don't understand. And this is going back to the other thing. I'm not taking away anybody's fandom or saying you don't know anything. If you're just going by the movies, you're kind of like, what happened to Poe? Well, you realize in Rebel Rising, Poe realizes what a fuck up he became and what he did and how he, really messed up and ruined lives and killed people, and a lot of the problems that the Resistance is having around, it's his fault because he took out a dreadnought, but he lost everything doing it. So it's like they still have more dreadnoughts, they still have more ships. So you took out one thing, but you sacrificed everybody to do it.
They got like 5 ships left after all that nonsense. We took out a dreadnought. Yeah, everyone's dead. No heroes, just dead ones.
Yep. So you find out in Rebel Rising, when he goes into a meeting when they're building up people, and they're like, "Oh wait, you're that guy? Oh, you're a piece of shit." And he's like, "Yeah, I am." Leia's got to defend him. But what can he say? They're like, "You did this and this and this, and this is all wrong." Oh, You created you caused a mutiny on your ship. You're lucky that you're still alive.
Yeah.
Well, Resistance Reborn, not Rebel Rising. Rebel Rising's a while. Rebel Rising is that's an older book.
I think that's
Resistance Reborn. Thank you, Patrick, for being there. Fake fan, Michael, right here.
Cancel from your show. I'm taking over. Welcome to Radio Rebellion Part 2 on Monday night. We'll bring you back.
Yeah, Rebel Rising was the Jyn Erso prequel. Thank you, Patrick. But it's like, so if you don't realize that he went from being this tough guy and this tough guy and this tough guy, and even afterwards does the failed, mutiny and everything, he's still kind of this tough guy, but gets taken down towards the end of that movie when they escape, and then he's with them, and there's nobody left because everybody that's there fits in the Millennium Falcon, because that's what's left, and the majority of it is his fault. And that's what
to bring him back also. When he wakes up in that shuttle, he's banging on the window, and they Leia, come here. You see that planet crate? We're hidden. They can't see us. We're going over there. This is the plan. You just need to chill and let others take the lead for once. But it takes him a while to learn, and then he's still dealing with those consequences in Resistance Reborn.
And then Pauline says that they should have put Poe's conflicted soul in The Rise of Skywalker. It would have been a lot more interesting. This is what I've been saying. The problem with Tross is they tried to put so much into one movie that you couldn't do it. I mean, if they would have put everything they needed to put in that movie to tie it together with because you're not tying together one movie, you're tying together 8 other movies. It had to be like an Endgame long 2-parter to do it. And the fact that they decided they didn't want to make it a 2-parter, that was the first problem. The second problem was the fact that they just said, okay, we are going with new directors. We're getting new stuff. Redo the movie. Same time frame. We don't have time for anything. If they would have put it off a little bit of time, it would have been a much better movie. But I mean, they did
Yeah, it should have been close to that 3 hour end game kind of thing. Fans knew it. Fans can take 3 hours in a movie theater if the story needs it. And this one, like you said, to wrap up 8 movies needed to be a little bit longer, or even 2 movies. Right, that's something that they would never do, just because Star Wars is the one that started the trilogy thing. Can you imagine if the last trilogy is actually 4 movies? I think people would just go nuts because it messes with the history of Star Wars. But just making it 2 hours and 20 or 2 hours 25 minutes, just too short to put all the things that they put in, plus all the other stuff that they let out, they didn't put. So I don't know. It's a lot of things that can be added, removed from it, but I'm not an editor, so I can't say what's out there on that cutting
I
floor.
mean, it should have been like episode 9 should have been part A, B, and C, like Lord of the Rings, 3-hour movies. You know,
Yeah.
give me a 10-hour episode 9 movie, just broken up into 3 parts. But I mean, that's what, you know, like, because, you know, I've said it before, like, my dad is a Star Wars fan, but he's like a casual fan. He walked out of the movie thinking it was good. It tied up the sequel trilogy for him. That tied, you know, as a normal person, it tied up the sequel trilogy for him. But it doesn't tie up the original trilogy, the prequel trilogy, really. You know, where's so, you know, and that's where it gets into too. They're making their money off of regular people going to see the movie that say, "Oh yeah, I like Star Wars. I'm a Star Wars fan," and you know, they're in the, you know, 1 to 3, 1 to 4, maybe 1 to 5 range on, or even lower. You know, the 1 to 10 scale of what kind of Star Wars fan they are. You know, what we consider like a 4, they might consider themselves a 10, but you know,
yeah. And I
so
think it was a mistake. Sorry, saying, "Oh, this is the culmination of the Skywalker saga. All 9 movies connect. We're gonna end 8 movies in this one." I think that was a mistake, because that they just shoot themselves into a corner by saying that this is the culmination of 40 years, that they have to cram so much into it, not having enough time. If they would just kept to it, this is the end of this trilogy, I think they could have changed the story a little bit more, make it tighter, and then that 2.5 hour movie just finishing up this trilogy would have made it better. I don't mind that the Emperor came back. I know it wasn't really explained just in movie, but if you don't try to bring the 8 movies together, then you don't have to worry about the Emperor. You can keep going with Kylo as the main bad, or introduce a new one, and forget about all the baggage that came with saying this is the end of the Skywalker saga. And that, I think, same as saying everything is connected in the new canon, kind of shoots themselves in a corner by trying to put too much into just one product.
Yeah, but that's where you get the normal people. It was fine for them. It's us there. Damn normies. You know what I mean? Because that's like I've had this conversation. People are like, well, think about the people that go see the movie 20 times. And I was like, okay, if every movie theater, if in every movie has someone in them to go see that movie 20 times, think of their 200 seats.
Yeah.
You know, that means that there's not all those same things. So, you know, I mean, I saw it 5 or 6 times in the theater, and then somehow was able to not have to leave my house to watch it a bunch of times too. I don't know what that means. I'm just joking. Anyone that's listening to me, but you know, it's like, so I don't know, like, you know, my dad. Oh yeah, you know, the Palpatine's back. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
And
my wife the same way. My wife doesn't go to the movies that often because she doesn't want to deal with the crowd, so she watches them at home. She asked me, "Hey, how did Palpatine come back?" And I started explaining, and she's like, I don't care. I'll just watch it, and that's enough. And then, no, because in the novelization, this clone body or this clone soul is moved to all these other bodies that he has clones, but they didn't work. And no, I don't care. I just want to watch the movie, and I'm fine with it. But yeah, they make their money or the 2 billion because of regular fans, and then all of us get to watch it 20 times. But it's not just for us; it's for the general audience.
Yeah, like, I mean, I've said it a bunch of times. So I was in Buffalo for my birthday in February, and I went to go see it with my dad. And afterwards, I was like, "All right, you want to come on my show and talk about it?" He's like, "Nope." I'm like, what did you think about this? What did you think? He's like, "It was fine." Okay. It was good. And he's like, you know what I didn't like? I was like, all right, this is gonna be good. What do you like? There's no sound in space.
No.
Okay, that's like, I mean, that's like his problem. His problem with the movie isn't, what we're all sitting around talking about it for. It's that there's no sound in space. You want me to tell you what's the worst thing about the movie? It's this.
Yeah. Let's not put real science in Star Wars. Bless you.
No, thank you. I scared Delilah.
No more scoops for you. Yeah.
All right. Was there any other news this week or anything we got to talk about?
The last thing, those rumors again that Hayden Christensen is coming back, Anakin and Darth Vader appearing in the Kenobi series, but again, those rumors, there's really not a lot of substance behind it. But I don't know. There were a few rumors this week, but nothing too concrete.
Yeah, I mean, if he's coming back, it would have to be flashbacks, I would think, because Kenobi doesn't know that Anakin's alive until he finds out in a comic book.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I do want Hayden Christensen to reprise his role or at least be back in Star Wars somehow. If it's flashback to his time as Anakin during the Clone Wars with Obi-Wan and maybe even bring Padme to a flashback, then that'd be great. And you can still have Vader, but you don't need Hayden specifically for Vader. But a flashback to their better times during the Clone Wars and have all three of them, Obi-Wan, Anakin, and Padme, just having a regular conversation would be great to see. Even if it's just one episode, a 15-minute scene in an episode, that would be great to see.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the whole thing. It's like saying that he's going to be back or having a reoccurring role. He might appear in every episode, but he could be a flashback in it. Or whatever it is. It doesn't mean that he's going to be playing a big role in it. I mean, it's kind of hard for him to play a big role. Then again, we don't know when the Kenobi series takes place. Is the first season going to be? Well, first of all, we don't even know how long it's going to be. Is it just going to be six episodes and done? Is it going to be like the first season is we kind of watch the downfall and find out what's happening between, whatever, and then the second season is him? Or I mean, I don't know. I think it's just going to be flashbacks. And personally,
so I think it's only one season. I think they say it's just a limited series, either 4 or 6 episodes, which I'm fine with it. Same Mandalorian. I don't want to go back to it, but I don't want it to go for 6, 7, 8 seasons. I think it needs to stop at a certain point. Obi-Wan, I think, is just one and done. Flashbacks is the one that makes sense. I cannot mention my show. I just keep plugging it. If they do a Force connection or a Force talk between Obi-Wan and Vader, they can do that because we know that Vader and Luke spoke through the Force sometimes during the end of Empire and Return of the Jedi. So if Kenobi and Vader have a Force conversation, I think that would be a great way to get those emotions going and learn a little bit more about their relationship before we meet them in A New Hope. But if you're going to bring Anakin back and Hayden, it has to be through flashbacks, I'm guessing.
I mean, they could. Why not make him Darth Vader? Like, if they got to put somebody in the suit and, they show him with his helmet off.
Yeah, also. That
works. Why not have it be him? And if it's just, a couple times walking around or whatever, have it be him. That's even better because that's who it was supposed to be in that suit, at the time that it goes.
Yeah, and he wore the suit in episode 3. So if it's, I think the Kenobi series about 5 years, I think, after Revenge of the Sith, if I'm not mistaken. So it makes sense that he can still play this character, being Vader in his Bacta tank or his whatever chair he has in the Star Destroyer. It can be him there without the helmet, and you get to see his face, and it's all those scars that we saw at the end of Revenge of the Sith. It'll be great. Again, more Hayden, the love for him is back. So yeah, if we can get him there, just bring him.
Or maybe you get some Satine in there. You get some flashbacks of Satine, and I mean that's, you know, right now we don't know anything. Everyone's assuming it's 1 season, 6 episodes, but I mean there's really nothing confirmed.
Yeah, we know they keep supposedly rewriting and changing the story. So who knows? A movie, 6 episodes, 4 episodes. Now it's 8, 2 seasons. I just want to see it. Just give it to me. I need all those TV series.
So what do you guys in the chat think? Do you think my camera looks better today than normal, or does it look the same? I'm just wondering because it's the new phone, so I'm trying to. That's the big difference. So like, if you go from the S20 to the S20 Plus, everything's the same on it except the S20 Plus is just a little bit bigger. When you go from the S20 or the S20 Plus, I got my footage, to the Ultra, it gets a lot. It's like an inch bigger, but then it's
That's what she said. No.
Oh, save that for the septic tank. I know you can say it here. It doesn't matter. I mean, I already dropped that bomb a bunch of times. You know, but it's like your camera just goes insane. I think like the back camera goes from, it's like 64 megapixels to like 128 megapixels on the phone that I have. I can zoom in to 100 times closer, so I can zoom in from like 100 feet away and make it be like I'm 1 foot away, and it's actually clear. I did it when I was at Best Buy. I went to the other side of the store, and I could read the boxes. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna do it for. So
yeah, I remember 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I had a camera that was 12 megapixels, and that was the greatest thing ever. So yeah, now what is it? 100 megapixels. I have an iPhone 8, and the camera's okay, but the zoom isn't the best. So I need to upgrade soon.
Well, I went from a flip phone to a 5, a Galaxy 5.
Mm-hmm.
When the 5 came out, but it was a flip phone until then. And I think the 5's still my favorite phone, the Galaxy 5. I went from a 5 to an 8, and then an 8 to this one. But yeah, I think the 5 was just the best one all around. And I don't know. I don't know, man. I needed a phone, and it's like, this can just do a little bit better and give me some better pictures. And you know, like I was saying, I don't know if I said it on here, but when I was talking to you earlier, you know, I need a new little phone. So it's like I posted yesterday. I was like, hey, you iPhone people or iPad people, I hate you. I'm gonna get an iPad. I have some questions though, and a couple people had me DM them. I DM'd them, and I was like, listen, you know, and then someone else said to me today, they're like, "Why are you going to get an iPad? Just build a computer. You can build one." And I was like, for the same price. And it's like, all right, so I'm getting I don't have an actual like PC, like a home computer, like with a tower and everything, and like a monitor. But I have a laptop, a gaming laptop. It's MSI, for any of all you people that know about computers, it's an MSI GS75 Stealth. When I get it back and it's up and running, which God only knows when the hell that's going to be, because it was I should have had it back last week. It's going to be 74 gigabytes of RAM and 4 terabytes of memory, 1 terabyte of memory for gaming, 1 terabyte of memory for videos and editing, and then 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes of editing for storage for computer or for pictures and videos and stuff like that. So like I don't want to carry that around anymore because it's like really expensive. It's kind of pretty much like top of the line. So it's like I need another little computer or something just for messing around or going out, and I'm going to try and be doing some more like mobile streaming, whatever it is, especially at cons or whatever it is, or if I can find anything Star Wars related or go do that and stream from there mobily, and I need then something to use that for, but then I can edit and then back and forth. My school's right next to my work, so I need something that I can take around there, and I don't want to carry this new beast of a laptop around. It's also 17.9 inches is my screen. Wow. So yeah, so it's like it's big, and I mean this one I got right here. This is my little baby one. I mean it's 12 inches or whatever, but it's dying. 4 gigabytes doesn't really work anymore. Computer sometimes it takes me an hour to turn it on. I went to go put on when I was doing my my Holocron house the other day. It took over 30 minutes for the Kindle page to load.
I think it's time for a new one.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm just gonna get an iPad because I can take that with me anywhere. I can email myself the video, download it while I'm on the train or doing whatever. I got a half-hour break at work or whatever it is. I can edit some video right there. In between, work and school, if I got some time, I can sit there and do stuff right there. So, I mean, that's what my mindset is for it.
Yeah, I just got a laptop also, and that's the only thing I use. When I was in college, I was supposed to be doing programming. I lasted one semester before I dropped out because I was gonna flunk it anyways. So yeah, all this about build your own computer, you can build your gaming computer, whatever. That's fine. I'll try to find the money and buy something. It's too complicated for me. So all these megabytes and RAMs and things that you're talking about, I'll take your word for it that they're top of the line because it didn't work for me, so I didn't follow it too much. So sometimes when I look I gotta buy a new laptop, I start seeing all the specs and I guess this makes sense. I don't know.
I only know because I taught myself and sat there and looked, okay, what's the difference between this and that, and what do I need, and look at all these different spreadsheets for, like when I bought my computer in November, my girlfriend, she was like, "There's something wrong with you," because I spent 3 days teaching myself. Yeah. I spent 3 days teaching myself about video cards and the difference in video cards and what you need and how much memory you need for that video card and then this and that and, comparing everything. And she was like, "What's wrong?" I was like, "I got to make sure I get it right."
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so. But all right, yeah, man.
Thank you, Heidi. I think Heidi's checking out. I'm like you. I'm gonna have to check out soon. But thanks, Heidi, for sticking with us. Nice talking to you guys.
Heidi, thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, that's really a problem with doing it later. I used to do it at 8:30, but then because of a bunch of things, I changed it to 9:30. But it's kind of good because I'll usually go to midnight anyways. That's just how it usually ends up being. Because like usually whoever I have on, they're usually on for like 45 minutes to an hour and a half. So if I start 9:30 and they're on till like 10:30, 11, and then I do like another hour by myself or whatever it is, and then sometimes like Gannon will come on later at night when he gets out of work when I'm getting ready to get done, or a bunch of other people stop by. And
no, it's cool. I love being here so far. But yeah, I gotta check out soon. So I'm glad I was able to be here with you. What, an hour and 45 minutes almost? So
yeah. Well, you take off whenever you want to, man. I'm not gonna keep you here. I'm gonna open up some stuff. If you want to stick around for a couple minutes, I'm gonna open up some stuff.
I'll do one. Open. If you have one, I'll do a quick one, and then I gotta head out.
All right.
While you're doing that, I'll plug my show, Radio Rebellion. You can find us on Twitter at Radio Rebel Pod, also on Instagram. Like Michael said, new episode usually every Saturday at 5 p.m. I might take a break here or there, so I might have a week off. And if not, you can find My podcast every Monday drops. Usually we try to do a live show on Saturdays and then post the recording on Monday for the podcast people that couldn't watch the live show. But yeah, trying to get some new guests every week. So I'm going to be working on that these next couple of weeks. If I can get some guests, I'll get you in there one day, Michael, once.
I don't want to come on there. I had you on here, so I don't ever have to come on. The only reason I had you on is so I can come on your show. Now you have to ask me, invite me.
Yeah, you're on the chat every week. I think that counts. It doesn't count. You need to be there actually.
Yes.
I'll get you in. We'll work something out. Don't worry.
All right. So let's go. Let's see what we got here. All right. Let's see if that switches it on. Okay.
That's a big box.
Somebody's got to say it.
What's in the box?
All right. There you go. I think I know what this one is too. I don't know. I don't know. Seems like a big box to be getting. So I have an idea. What it is. It could be from the auction that I won on eBay. And if it is, I say I paid way too much for this. Well, no, I got it for like 25% of how much it costs. So I got it for a steal. But it was still way too much. Like,
I don't go on eBay. I'm afraid I'm gonna spend too much on something I might not need. I love Captain Rex, but I don't have any Captain Rex collectible with me, and every time I see one, they're too expensive. So I'm afraid to go to eBay and find one.
Well, this was not at all what I thought it was going to be.
Surprise! It's your computer. No.
So this was not what I thought it was going to be. I thought I got here really quick. The thing that I was just talking about, but this is, get out of here. It's from the official Lucasfilm archives. It is, I don't want to lose that paper.
Ooh.
Star Wars Vault, 30 years of treasures from the Lucasfilm archive. This was another one I've been trying to get for a while on eBay.
It's a good one. All right, with that, I'm gonna have to check out, Michael. Again, thanks for inviting me on your show. I try to watch your 20 streams you do every week, so I'm glad to be here at least once and talk with you for so long, talk with the fans. So thanks again for inviting me, and we'll do it again on my show sometime soon.
All right, man. Thank you very much for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Sure. We'll do it again.
Definitely.
We should do it again sometimes.
It was a great time.
All right. Thanks for everything. Thank you guys on the chat. See you later.
Peace.
Yeah.
All right. So this is supposed to include $50 interactive and rare, never before published memorabilia, including reproductions of Lucasfilm's owned handwritten scripts, flip through catalogs, swag, posters. It's supposed to come with 2 DVDs. Also. And it does. 2 DVDs, baby. In those DVDs. I don't know. initial radio spots, adventures, re-release, a silent movie, excerpts from the making of, excerpts from radio drama, Star Tours pre-show, excerpt from Magic of Myth, audio tour, George Lucas answers questions at Celebration 3, Samuel Jackson talks. So I think what I'm going to do is this book is going to go this is going to be a Patreon book. I'm going to go through and do some listening and go through that. Just eventually someday come out to the regular people or not. I don't know. It's got this cool little, I'm not going to unfold it, but got this little poster right here. Yeah, it was funny, dude, because I got this really, really cheap too. It's just a bunch of different memorabilia and stuff. I can't even. It's hard for me to do it with this phone, showing this phone. But here, there's that page, and then all this stuff over here is just. Oh, it's a Star Wars land speeder. You make a little land speeder out of it. Have a cardboard land speeder. But yeah, this book's really cool. A lot of stuff. Oh. Star Wars boxers. Like every couple pages has stuff in it. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Yeah, I got a good deal on this too. Like $20, something like that. It's usually a lot more. I don't know. I don't know. It's like when I paid $20 for something like this, and it's worth like 80 or something like that, I'm like, yeah, that's all right. That's cool. But like maybe the one I thought it was going to be, I paid $200 for, and it goes for like 800. And then I'm just like, that was a good deal, but that was just way too much money. But that's why that one I picked up, I'm not buying anything for another week or two off of that, because that was my, it's fine that I spent that money. I just can't buy any more toys for a couple weeks because of it. So, yeah. Oh, geez. I got a couple more. Should I open up a couple more? What if nothing else comes in? I don't have anything open up next week then, because I can't order anything else. I think I do have stuff coming in next week, though. I got some books coming in. I got some free books coming in, too. All right, what are you guys talking about over here? Points about Luke thinking that Vader could be saved, but not Kylo. I don't know. We're talking about if we're liking Luke or not liking Luke. But I don't know what happened to Patrick Packer. Was in here and now he left again. One more. Pauline wants one more. That's what they always say. Just give me one more. right, let's see. What do we have here? All right. So this one, somebody's got to say it so I can open it. You know the rules. Well, Mr. Rez, I have no Funko Pops to open. Although I think you were here the other day. I did get a set for myself of the new ones that are coming out. The Rise of, or the Knights of the Republic ones. I got a set for myself, an extra set in case I have any friends that are looking for them that weren't able to get it. And then Revan, you couldn't order online. It sold out instantly online, and they just had it at, you had to actually go in the store and get it. And I had a bunch of credit left over, and they're like, we can give it to you in a gift card. I said, just give it to me in Revans. Worst case scenario is I'm going to have a bunch of Revan to give away as gifts if I can't give them to people or stuff. So, Michelle, how you doing? Thanks for stopping by. So, all right. Yep, we got this. I don't know what this is. It's not a Funko Pop. But yeah, so I have that coming in, and then we have what's coming in next. I think that's in August. You have Wave whatever that has like the Jedi and stuff for the Black Series. And then you have the Rebels Black Series coming in, so I'll have those to open up. Then you have a couple of Funko Pops, and then you have in September a couple more Funko Pops and Black Series coming in, and then in I think October, I don't know. There's right now, I think I have 20 Black Series ordered between now and Christmas. So let's see. I think we have another book. Oh. Star Wars posters. And then they just announced too. I don't know what we got here, but we got some posters. It's really hard right now without having a computer and just having to use my phone, but we do what we gotta do. They just announced you're gonna get the Wampa for the 40th anniversary. I think that's gonna be a Hasbro Pulse only. You have the Endor box set, which is gonna have like 5 or 6 Black Series in there. They're selling that shit for $100 though. But I'm the one that said, give me two Wampa, or give me the Wampa with Luke, and give me 2 Tauntauns. You can charge $200 for that. You'd still sell it because I mean those are $50 figure anyway. So you know, I mean, don't really matter. But here we go. A couple more posters in here. This is part of that 5-book set that came out. Oh, this one's pretty cool. This is part of that 5-book set that came out. A couple years ago. I think I now have. This is one of the other posters. This one right here. I mean, it's, you know, they're all posters. Oh, like literally, it's just a book of posters. So, oh, here, this one's kind of cool. I didn't realize it opened up. But yeah, so it's like the one was, I'd have to look and see what they all are. Concepts, posters, illustration. Might as well open up everything I got right now. You know, and I was planning on doing a lot more of the videos, but my computer decided to die, and then my other computer decided to die, and then what's this? Oh, it's kind of like a poster day today. Mandalorian poster book. So it's kind of weird because like what's this one? That looks kind of weird. What is that? See, so like there's the middle one right there, okay? But then, you know, there's the top of it, and there's the bottom of it. But then you have, you know, you have the armor on that one. So includes 16 double-sided posters. Yeah, you know, but it's like, so anyways, I was planning on, not like I said, anyways, I'm completely changing the subject, but I was planning on getting this weekend all of the things together for my patron stim packs, and then a couple other things going out too to some other people, some stickers and stuff. But then I lost 2 days with no computer and no phone, and you know, whatever. But okay, one more. This is the last one. This might be the last thing I ever open on air, because I don't have anything else right now. What I need to start doing is I need to start packing stuff away, because you know I did the advent calendar, the Star Wars advent calendar, where I opened up a piece of merch every day for Advent, from an advent calendar. I can't sit there and do it, you know, order 25 things to, you know, I'll go crazy. It'd be a lot of money, and, you know, just whatever. But if I start now, one thing a week, putting away, I can do another advent calendar maybe. But I got to figure out where I'm going to put all this shit, because I'm out of room now, I think. But let's see, what's this one? Oh. Well, speaking of the set that I was just talking about, Star Wars illustrations. I thought I just got this book. Oh, this one's fucking sweet. Check that out. Yeah, so I got to figure out. There's Luke with his lightsaber doing his black magic. It's not really magic Jedi stuff. How I can take a picture of this. All right. So here's what I got to do. Charlie, you might know how to do this. If I take a picture of this and then someone that is good at Photoshop, graphics, whatever, would they be able to get rid of that line crease going down? And like blend it to make it look like one regular picture? Yeah, I'm just looking at these. This is really nice. You got even though I don't really think it is Padme. In these pictures, it looks like her handmaidens. But that's the whole thing. It's like, so if you look at episode 1, Padme is almost never the queen. That's her handmaidens. Yeah, Pauline, I'm just saying Photoshop because when I just need to be able to, like, so there's like the spine in there. There's two. Why is that not focused? There's two. You know, it's one page. It's one picture, but it's on 2 pages. So it's not like a fold out poster. And I just mean Photoshop because I know Photoshop you can blend it so you don't have that line going in the middle of it, and you know. Okay, I am not going to get myself in trouble at all on this one. I'm just going to read what it says. The many flavors of Padme. Stop it. Got it right there. Oh, my boy Chewy. That's a cool one. See, now that I'm going to have to talk to Charlie because I think Charlie knows how to do a lot of this stuff. But, you know, I know I have. Oh, no, like that's what I'm saying. Like Photoshop, I think Photoshop could do it. I don't know how to Photoshop though, like and use Photoshop. I've tried and I always mess it up. But I think I could get. I know Charlie Skywalker knows how to do some of that stuff. You know, like this right here. All right. If I hold it completely flat, it's one perfect picture. But there's a line that goes down the middle of it. If you know what I'm saying. So can we take a picture of it and then somehow like get rid of that line, make it not be a line, like try and blend it together so it's one solid picture. And then, you know, or like this one. And then, you know, obviously I wouldn't sell them, but I could include those, you know, sometimes with stim packs or something. Or if I find out, hey, somebody really likes Grievous, I can scan this picture with my computer or my printer. I mean, I can scan this picture and print it out for them, make it into like little, 8x10 poster or something like that. Or, we got this one right here with the Ewoks. Just things like that. I mean, I'm getting all this, shit, dude. What shit all about me? It's me. I like that one. Top Star Wars Galaxy Series 1-card set from 1993. It's a 12x10 picture. That was of me. Her. If I took those pictures and I tried to sell them, I would get in trouble for copyright. If I scanned those pictures and then gave them away to people, I mean, they're not going to really get you for copyright. Yeah, so it's one of those weird kind of things. I just mean when I don't know, when I'm doing stuff, when I have, so for my patrons, going out, it was supposed to be this weekend I was going to do it. And then I was like, well, I'll just do it today, but I ended up spending most of the day trying to work on the phone and trying to get I lost all my podcasts, trying to get all my podcasts back. So I spent all day trying to do that. I still need to take my phone in and have it worked on to try and get more stuff back from it. And I need to go take my headphones back because I'm supposed to have a 9-hour battery on it. The battery dies now after 3. And they're still under warranty. So I'm going to take those back now. And they're just going to give me free ones and give me a new pair. And I want to get that done as soon as possible, so I might do that tomorrow. And the my regular headphones that I have, if they were in my computer, sometimes this is a short stream right now. Unless somebody hops on and keeps it going, it's going to end pretty soon. And which is fine with me because I got stuff I got to do, and I got 60 comic books to read before 3 a.m, which I don't know if I'll do that or not, but we'll work on it. So if it's one of my long streams that end up being 3 or 4 hours, they'll die and they won't make it the whole thing. So, or when I get my computer back and I'm going to have a couple times where it's just no playlist, no nothing. I'm going to go play Battlefront I'm going to play Battlefront all day. I'm going to do a 10-hour stream from, 8 a.m. till 8 o'clock at night, or 10 a.m. till 10 o'clock at night. And, that's what it's going to be. That's going to be my day. That's going to be my Star Wars day. I'm going to have a couple games where I just do nothing but game. I haven't played a game in a month. And I just started getting into the gaming thing back going on. And I started trying to get a lot of gaming all the time. Especially with Fallen Order. I've been trying to do my second playthrough of Fallen Order. My first playthrough with Fallen Order was over 100 hours long. And I didn't 100% it. Now, I think I'm 16 hours into it. And I'm at about 60%. So I should hopefully be able to get that done in about 30 hours and then another 10 hours at 100% it. So, 30 hours, 40 hours to 100% the game. That took me the first time playing it well over 100, maybe 120 hours. And I still didn't 100% it. So that, plus I got Battlefront going on. I'm going to be doing that mainly on Twitch. Try and get that Twitch channel built up a little bit. Use that mostly for gaming. I'm still going to do Fallen Order on YouTube, but everything else is pretty much going to be on Twitch. Except for when Squadrons comes out. Squadron's going to be on Twitch, but I might do a little bit of Squadron on YouTube also, just for our YouTube friends, so they can see it. But that's going to be a much shorter game, the campaign on there, and it can be a little bit of both. And then when it is like the story mode of the game, I'm probably going to do on YouTube, and I'll do that in one day because I'm taking 3 days off when that game comes out. I'm taking 3 days off to play that game, and then I'm going back to work for a week. And then if there is New York Comic Con, I will be at Comic Con for a week, 4 days, whatever it is. And also you have San Diego Comic Con this weekend online, and I went through the list. Like, you can find the list online of everything there is and what you want to do and what it's going to be. And I was like, okay, this. I was like, no, dude, like, I'm just marking stuff that I'm going to go to and watch online just because it's on. It's like, I really only care about the 3 Star Wars things and like 2 or 3 other things. So I'm going to have to go through that list again and print it out and see. And then, hopefully I'll have my computer back by then, man. It's driving me crazy. I went in there yesterday to talk to him because I was at a different Best Buy. I have a Best Buy I go to because I like them there. But they weren't open yet for me to take my computer to get fixed. And I dropped it off on the 25th, and it's still not back yet. And I went there to find out what was going on. And they promised me they would find out what the status of that computer was, and they would call me today. The manager promised me she would call me. She said, I promise you I will call you myself. If I don't, one of the associates will call you. So, okay. It's now 11:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7/20/2020. Pretty soon it's going to be 12 a.m. 7/21/2020. No phone call. But what are you going to do? Can't really expect that much from them because whatever, dude, Huh. I got that book, and acceptable. This illustrations book. I paid almost nothing for it because it was acceptable, and I was like, you know what? The other ones are like $40 or $50, even used. Give it to me in bad shape. The worst case scenario is I'm going to lose some pictures or whatever. No, dude, nothing wrong with it. I don't know. There's a couple little tears on it, so it all depends on who looks at it, who says what. Dude, I didn't even see that. What? What? Check out this art right here. Chewbacca. Grievous. Yeah, man, that's what I'm going to be doing. If you guys are into books and art, I'm going to be doing a lot of these on the Patreon. Going through them, talking about them. They will eventually hit regular. For everybody else. Or not. I don't know. We'll see. But I think that's going to do it for today, man. Yeah, I think it's just supposed to be like a regular stream. Like, they're going to stream whatever, and you can just watch them. Like, when I said I signed up for it, I didn't mean like I signed up. I meant that I, Like I marked them. Like it gives you a schedule, and I marked them which ones I wanted to go to. And see, that's what I'm talking about. So it's like, Vegas girl loves that picture. I have a phone now that has a 128 megapixel camera on it, which they tell me is like the best one out there. I can take that picture. I can put it on my iPad, fix the picture, make it look even better. And then I have a laser printer, which is very nice, very good. Get some good quality paper, print that out, paint, boom. And that can then go to, friends. Oh, you like this picture? Here you go. And then it's not me selling it or doing anything. All right, Pauline, thank you very much for stopping by. Then it's just taking the picture, having it centered, put on nice little glossy picture. Couple pieces of cardboard, make a little sandwich out of it, send it to her. She can put it on her ceiling or with her other posters, or she can get a nice little frame for it, put it on there. A lot of it's going to be going on to the Patreon feed. So if you're a patron, you can say, hey, I really like that picture. I can do the same thing for it too. Just things like that. I mean, I have all this fun, cool stuff. I might as well use it. Have fun doing it. Learn how to do it. I got a couple people I know I can talk to and find out how to do some things. But shit, I remember my girlfriend tell me, because you take a picture of food and you change the color of the mustard or the ketchup to make it look better, because sometimes the ketchup looks a little bit darker. It looks a little bit brownish. You want it to be nice and red on your burger, or whatever the hell you're doing. I don't know. I'm just talking about stuff now. I'll let the secrets out. Pauline, you are not opinionated at all, and you obviously have never heard of me when I go off on my tangents. You obviously didn't hear me up. You obviously, Mr. Rez was there. You didn't hear me on Saturday. On my show on Saturday. If you think your Star Wars is opinionated and controversial, you ain't seen nothing yet. When Mr. Rez says "wow" about me going off about my opinions and my feelings, I don't know, man. It's a good time though. Ended up being a good time. Sometimes you just got stuff you gotta get off your chest. And I've always been an open person, and I've always talked about things and problems and whatever. So, so I just got cut off there. I don't know what happened, but I've always been an open person. I don't really hide anything. I say the way things are and how I feel. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I shouldn't be as open. But I mean, that's just the way it is. I was gonna say that's why I'll never win any awards, but booyah! Wrong on that one, baby. Yeah, so I gotta figure out now with those books if I'm missing one or not. I know I got concepts sitting up there. and I got posters and illustrations. I think I got another one in back. Oh no, Pauline, I didn't sugarcoat anything. I let my feelings out, and that was, I think I taught some people new words. And that was, it is what it is, man, So I've been the same way my whole life. That's why sometimes I upset people. If you want to be treated with respect, you need to give respect. And that's pretty much all it comes down to. And if you do something you deserve to get called out for, I'm going to call you out, whether it upsets you or not, or no matter who it upsets, I'm going to call you out. And sometimes I'm not the most eloquent speaker when I call you out or call someone out. Sometimes I can be rude and crass. But that's usually when the person is rude or crass first. And then it's just like, so be it. But yeah, dude, I don't really feel like talking about this anymore. I've already talked about it too many times, too much on here. Star Wars is a happy place. So with that, I say good day. May the Force be with you. Always. And I'll see you in that Twitterverse. Twitterverse. Maybe on Saturday when I see you guys, I'll be coming at you from an iPad or a lily pad. Hopefully not a bachelor pad. When am I going away? I don't know. I don't know anything. I don't know. This won't stop now. Maybe if I hit it here, that will end it.